amigos? Can I get an amen? Now, how about a hallelujah, people? Oh, yeah. You guessed it. Time for the show with no name and time for liftoff. Let's go. Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. And get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time. On Fun Radio. It's the show with no name. Let's get going. Let's go. Welcome, Show with No Namers. It's another amazing edition of the Show with No Name. Up ahead, adelante. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I'm about to have a stroke of good luck. Oh, yeah. Well, if you count a bird pooping on you as good luck, which a lot of people do, they call them bird droppings, if you want to be less gross. And yesterday I was out doing a very Spanish thing, terracing, terraceando. Now that the weather is nice, I was with Rob and Andy, so you can ask them about this. And there I was enjoying my mao and, some croquetas, whatever, I don't remember exactly. And there was a pigeon, not a dove. Doves son los blancos. A pigeon, a rat with wings that was sitting right above me in the tree. And I think this pigeon had more poop than I've had in a week. And I don't have to tell you the rest of the story, do I? Let's just say yesterday was the shit. And now I'm pooped. Oh, no. Oh, God. It was the shit. Era la bomba. I'm pooped. Estoy reventado. It's not true. I feel fine. But yesterday, man, I was grossed out. And I don't know how this thing did it. I mean, I don't know. First, I don't know how it had so much poop in it. But I guess I'm bound to have some good luck, right? I hope.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
You heard it, folks. GrupoVaughn.com if you want to know more about our masters, our summer camps, or any of our amazing initiatives. All right, it's time for our pop quiz. Come on now. Pop quiz. Sing it. Let's warm up those vocal cords. Come on. Pop quiz. Let's go, go, yeah. go, 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 go. I want all your energy, folks. Don't half-ass it. No lo hagas a medio gas. Not here. Not today. Not ever. Pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz, 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 quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, amigos. It is our pop quiz here on the Show with No Name. And today we're going to be taking a look at phrasal verbs. Hey, they're everywhere. There's no way to get around them. Acabo de usar uno. Evitar. But it makes sense. There's no way to get around them, right? We use them from the moment we get up to the moment we take off our slippers or socks, take off, and set our alarms. Well, set is not a phrasal verb. But to go off, lo que hace la alarma, yeah, that's a phrasal verb. My alarm goes off at 7 a.m. every day. I'm lying, actually 6 a.m. But the reason I wanted to point that one out is because it's really confusing. What does go off sound like? Pues it sounds a lot like apagarse, right? No, es sonar. Also, bombs go off. Estallar, sonar. Also, a person can go off. Wow, despotrica. You really went off. Te enfadaste, te cabreaste. Le dijiste lo que piensas. You really went off on him. ¿Ves? Otra vez. Por eso siempre insisto en poner las cosas en contexto. Porque to go off, ok, ¿y qué más? Y si ponemos una persona, ¿se puede usar con personas? Sí. And what about food? Food can go off too. So there's one phrasal verb that has 5 really common meanings, right? So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today in our pop quiz. As always, you can pick up phrasal verbs, the booklet, the material at the Vaughn Tienda, where you can also find out about all our interesting deals right now for summer camps and all that jazz. Also, a quick reminder, coming up about a week away, a little over a week away, May 6th, the 6th of May, 2025, Kyle Miller will be hosting our Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. We'll see you there. It's 8 p.m. And what else? 8 p.m., Toast Tap Room. All the information is on social media. So I think the best thing you can do is follow Grupo Vaughan. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on X, and YouTube, which is really good too, because you can find a plethora, a wealth of videos to help you learn English. And we all know the importance of hearing it, right? And repeating what you hear. There really isn't any other secret than that with languages. It's like music. You hear what he just played, try and play it the way he played it. Well, the same thing happens when we're learning a language. And I always like to draw those parallels as a music lover and a language lover between music and language. Don't they say music is the universal language? So there you go. Why not use it as a learning tool, as we always do here on the show? All right, so folks, this is from Phrasal Verbs. You can find it at Vaughn Tienda. Pay attention, because I will have a couple questions for you afterwards.
To back up.
¿Por qué no me apoyaste?
Why didn't you back me up?
Si te hubiera apoyado, habría perdido mi trabajo.
If I'd backed you up, I would have lost my job.
No esperes que él te apoye la próxima vez.
Don't expect him to back you up next time.
Si ellos no te creen, yo te apoyaré.
If they don't believe you, I'll back you up.
Ella te apoyará si se lo pides.
She'll back you up if you ask her to.
¿Cómo le vas a apoyar?
How are you going to back him up?
Apóyame en esto, por favor.
Back me up on this, please.
Nos apoyaremos el uno al otro.
We'll back each other up.
¿Por qué debería él apoyarla?
Why should he back her up?
¿Le apoyarías a él si él te lo pidiera?
Would you back him up if he asked you to?
The phone call. When the police asked Peter where he had been on Friday night, he told them he had been at home alone, but that he didn't have anyone to back up his alibi. They told him that without anyone to back him up, he would have to go to the police station with them. Peter was sure there was someone who could back his story up, but the question was who? Just then, he remembered that he had made several phone calls to his sister's house before he had gone to bed. His sister couldn't back him up since she hadn't answered the phone, but the phone records would back up his story. To dress up.
¿Vas a disfrazarte para la fiesta de Halloween?
Are you going to dress up for the Halloween party?
Voy a disfrazarme de Superman.
I'm dressing up as Superman.
Te disfrazaste de Superman el año pasado.
You dressed up as Superman last year.
¿De qué vas a disfrazarte?
What are you going to dress up as?
Todos los empleados deben ir elegantes.
All employees must dress up.
¿Vas elegante a trabajar?
Do you dress up for work?
Voy elegante a las reuniones.
I dress up for meetings.
¿No deberías ir elegante siempre?
Shouldn't you dress up all the time?
No puedo ir elegante todo el tiempo.
I can't dress up all the time.
Asegúrate de ir elegante a la fiesta.
Make sure you dress up for the party. To dress up.
¿Vas a disfrazarte para la fiesta de Halloween?
Are you going to dress up for the Halloween party?
Voy a disfrazarme de Superman.
I'm dressing up as Superman.
Te disfrazaste de Superman el año pasado.
You dressed up as Superman last year.
¿De qué vas a disfrazarte?
What are you going to dress up as?
Todos los empleados deben ir elegantes.
All employees must dress up.
¿Vas elegante a trabajar?
Do you dress up for work?
Voy elegante a las reuniones.
I dress up for meetings.
¿No deberías ir elegante siempre?
Shouldn't you dress up all the time?
No puedo ir elegante todo el tiempo.
I can't dress up all the time.
Asegúrate de ir elegante a la fiesta.
Make sure you dress up for the party.
To look up.
Busca la palabra en el diccionario.
Look up the word in the dictionary.
Ella buscó la palabra para comprobar la ortografía.
She looked up the word to check the spelling.
Subraya la palabra y búscala luego.
Underline the word and look it up later.
Estoy seguro de que he buscado esa palabra antes.
I'm sure I've looked that word up before.
Si no tienes diccionario, búscala en Internet.
If you don't have a dictionary, look it up online.
Búscalo en la enciclopedia.
Look it up in the encyclopedia.
Busca su número de teléfono en la guía.
Look up his phone number in the phone book.
¿Hay alguien que siga buscando cosas en los libros?
Does anyone still look things up in books?
La mayoría de la gente busca cosas en Internet ahora.
Most people look things up on the internet now.
La biblioteca es un buen sitio donde buscar información.
A library is a good place to look up information.
¿Conoces Weekend Town? La nueva iniciativa de Vaughan.
Pues no.
Es un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. Y es nuevísimo.
A ver, cuéntame más.
Tendrás una inmersión lingüística total durante 2 días. Un total de 24 horas hablando con angloparlantes de todo el mundo.
¡Wow! ¡Qué interesante!
Ganarás confianza y soltura a la hora de comunicarte en inglés. Mejorarás tu comprensión auditiva y tus habilidades conversacionales en una situación de comunicación real en inglés. Ven a Weekend Town y te sorprenderás con todo lo que puede avanzar tu inglés en un fin de semana. Weekend Town de Vaughan. Un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés.
That's right, folks. Weekend Town. You can find out more about this awesome initiative by following us on social media. It's Weekend Town, a weekend of immersion, a weekend that you'll never forget, a weekend that will be a turning point in your English journey, en tu cruzada del inglés, tu viaje. A journey no es jornada. A journey is like a nice way of saying a trip. So it's like a poetic way of saying el viaje que es esta vida, the journey right? That's more what that one is. And for all you rockers, the group Journey, ¿qué me dices de ese grupo? Whoa, man, one of the greatest rock groups of the 70s, 80s. Oh, man, even of all time, I would say. All right, well, my amigos, it's not time to take a look at music. Not yet, although we highlight music and expressions and phrasal verbs from music all throughout the show. But let's take a look at this. This is from Phrasal Verbs. Again, it's available at Von Tienda. It comes with audio, as you've just heard. And we heard a lot of really useful, common phrasal verbs. And the most important part is that we heard them in context, spoken by native speakers. So as I said earlier, we can imitate them and try and sound the closest we can to that, right? As I said, like when you're singing a song, you want it to sound as much like the real song as possible. All right. So one of the ones we looked at, to look up. Well, this one's a really rich one too. Look up. Mira hacia arriba. I mean, right there, it says literally look up, right? But also look up is a lot of Spanish people say, and I get it, look for it on the internet or look for it on Google. Not necessary. You can say Google it or look it up on the internet. Look it up as buscar barra consultar, right? If you're looking for something, it's because it's lost. If you're looking something up, it's because you need to find some information. So it's a little bit different. And then look up also is to look up to. My daughter, thankfully, looks up to me. Me admira. To look up to. And then the idiomatic expression. Things are looking up. Las cosas están mejorando. Okay, things are looking. So just from that look up, y fijaos en la pronunciación, no es look up, it's look up. La sonido K realmente se une con la segunda parte. Look up. Y si añadimos ed es como una T. Looked it up. Did you look it up? Did you? Yeah, I looked it up. I looked it up. Dilo conmigo. Did you look it up? Contéstalo. Yeah, I looked it up. Not I looked it up. Es que se une. Entonces quiero always, that's why sometimes I say things a couple times. I want you to hear how they go together naturally. I slow it down. Did you look it up? Did you? Did you look it up? Yeah, I looked it up. Looked it, teta. I looked it up. Suena así. I looked it up. All right, so I want you not just to focus on la palabra looking up, pero cómo decirlo de manera natural, right? Y luego, pues, como ves, hay patrones, right? There are many other verbs that end with that T sound. Did you talk it up? Maybe Kyle would ask me, did you talk up the trivia night? Y creo del contexto se sabe. Darle bombo. Yeah, Kyle, I talked it. ¿Ves? Ese tit sigue ahí. I talked it up. So no solo para ese verbo, pero todos los que, cuando estos verbos regulares que acaban con el sonido T. Walked, talked, watched. Cuando se une esa T, se va a la otra parte. That's a rule in general. Obviously, we know in English there are many exceptions. So look at that. We just looked at look up, and we saw that it's got 4 or 5 common meanings. All right, let's see if you guys can figure out the ones we're going to look at today. The first one, they said in the audio, es disfrazarse. También es vestirse más formal. El contexto es lo que te va a dar eso. Lo mismo con el look up. If I tell you things are looking up, no significa que las cosas están buscando cosas en internet. Porque primero, ¿cómo hacen eso las cosas? Right? They can't, no toman acción, cosas. So it doesn't make sense. El ejemplo que siempre uso aquí es el take off. Take off your hat. Mi gorra se va a despegar? No. Take off your hat es quitar, right? The plane is going to take off. ¿Qué se va a quitar el avión? Pues evidentemente nada. Es despegar en ese caso. So again, a little common sense goes a long way as well. So the first one, cuéntanos algo. Cuando tenía 5 años me disfracé de, right? Give us your, or mi hijo, quien sea, o en carnaval me disfracé de. So I want you to use disfrazar, I can't say it. No es fácil, ¿eh? Disfrazarse de. And un disfraz, how do we say that? A costume. A costume. So then, wait a second. What's the difference between a costume, costume, and a disguise? Well, a costume is what I would wear to a costume party. A disguise is something I would wear if I don't want to be recognized. Maybe if I'm an undercover police officer, right? So the difference, you're disguising, you're trying to fool someone. And in a costume, you're participating, casi lo digo, en una fiesta de disfraz. So the first one, disfrazarse de, okay? The next one, they used to back somebody up, apoyarles, back me up. All right, there's another way to say it. It's from a very famous song, así que ya vamos a ir incorporando la música al programa. So use it in context, but you can't use back me up, porque quiero un sinónimo de back up, okay? You might be familiar with it. I'm sure many of you are. And the last one, a very common phrasal verb that means parecerse a alguien. Now, the good thing about this one is it can be personality or it can be physically like the person. Okay, so esta es como más amplio. Because obviously, if I say you look like your father, I'm talking about your eyes, your hair, your chin, tu barbilla, whatever. To look like is to resemble physically. And how would I say then, pareces a tu padre, te pareces a tu padre en forma de ser? You are like your father. So you look like your father, physical. Y la pregunta, who do you look like? I look like my mother and my father, physically. And la pregunta, ¿cómo quién eres de personalidad? Who are you like? Well, I'm kind of like my grandpa. I'm like, that means personality. But the phrasal verb I'm looking for, you can, from the context, it's both. So if somebody does something or says something that a parent or, acuérdate, pariente is a little bit different, or a relative would do, then they say, oh, your grandpa. Ahora, puede ser con una mirada, puede ser algo que dices. Hey, why don't you tell us? There's a good way to do it. Tell us, ¿a quién te pareces tú? Right? It's a good way to remember, too. Claro, soy igual que mi abuela. Soy igual que mi abuelo. Whatever. Mi primo, mi padre, right? So those are your challenges. Again, this is coming straight out of phrasal verbs. It's available at vaughntienda.com. And also, if you live in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza, then what are you waiting for? Come stop by, get a free level test, and introduce yourself. Preséntate. Oh, and speaking of introductions, I might as well give you this week's question of the week, too. How did your parents meet? Ahí lo tienes. How did your parents meet? That is this week's question of the week. As always, we'll take a look at it on Friday. All right. ¿Cómo se conocieron tus padres? You can say your parents or your folks, si queréis practicar con folks. Lo que no puedes decir es parents. Because parents doesn't mean anything. Parents. Pair. Son una pareja, right? A pair of parents. Hey, if it helps you remember it. We looked at that last week, too, in our phrasal verbs. We looked at the word pear, pera, que cuidado, muchos dicen peer. Do you like peers? I'm like, mis iguales? Muelles? No, peers. I'm like, no, those are pears. A pair of pears. Hey, get your mind out of the gutter. No pienses en esas cosas. Folks, we have got to go to a quick commercial break. I see we've got a lot of people participating, a lot of people excited to learn English. And that's great because your excitement fuels my excitement. You go big, I go bigger. All right, amigos, we'll be right back with so much more. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's show with No Name here on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget not to miss. Oh, God. No te olvides de perderte los programas. Oh, my God. ¿Cómo se nota que es lunes, eh? Monday morning. Don't forget to not listen to my favorite programs here on Vaughn Radio. You know what I mean. Bear with me. Paciencia conmigo. And I'll bear with you, too. Oh, man. Don't forget to listen to them, to tune in to all the amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio. You can start your day with the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. You want to see something cool? If you guys are watching the video right now, I'm showing you some original sketches I have from Rob Grams. I haven't put them up in my office, but I just framed them. And I'll show you a second one, too. I have 2 original sketches by Rob Grams, a.k.a. Professional Bohemian. You can find him on Instagram as Probo, and you can catch his show every day here. He is truly an artist. I'm talking about Rob Grams and the Probo Show. And right before this show, right after that one, sandwiched in between, you've got the one and only Fitz. And it's funny because I just read Rob and Fitz's name in my calendar. We got a barbecue coming up. Oh, yeah. 'Tis the season. ¿Te sabes esta? 'Tis the season es lo que se dice en Navidad. Es la temporada de tal. Bueno, es una excusa para lo que sea. 'Tis the season. 'Tis es como antiguamente se decía it is. La contracción antes era 'tis, pero ahora ya no. Ahora si lo dices suenas como Shakespearean, Victorian English. Well, whatever English you want to learn, you can learn it here on Vaughn Radio with the wealth of different programs, accents, and outlooks you can get. Just download the Vaughn Radio app, and you can learn anywhere, anytime, on the go. Por ahí. All right, amigos, let's kick off the second part of the show with the Say What soundbite. Say what? All right, folks, here's your Say What soundbite. As always, you'll hear all different accents, all different situations, just like life. And here what we're doing is training your ear to understand all kinds of different speech and also seeing how you summarize what you hear and how you take dictation. So you got 3 different exercises that the Say What soundbite works on. Here is the first listen. Is everybody ready? All right, here goes.
Look, it's a business. I get it. It's fine. I would be polite. I don't dislike Conan. I still think he's funny. I think he's very talented. Okay, it was a matter of I had the show. Someone tried to take the show away from me. They did. It didn't work out. They gave it back to me.
All right, there you go. There you go, amigos. I think a lot of Americans would recognize that voice in an instant. All right, let me give it to you again, and then we'll discuss it. Here's your Say What soundbite for the second time.
Look, it's a business. I get it. It's fine. I would be polite. I don't dislike Conan. I still think he's funny. I think he's very talented. Okay, it was a matter of I had the show. Someone tried to take the show away from me. They did. It didn't work out. They gave it back to me.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right. This book is the shit, available at Von Tienda and wherever fine books are sold. It is my 5th book. That's right. And I've also voiced many, many other books as well. So check out all the amazing materials at the Von Tienda. And today we're taking a look at some phrasal verbs in our pop quiz. Let's go on over to our virtual chat room. I see we've got a lot of students participating, and I'm eager to hear your question of the week this week as well. I think we're going to hear a lot of nice stories about not how you met your partner, but how your parents met. Because remember this, if that hadn't happened, you would not be listening to this or watching this right now, right? If my parents hadn't met, there would be no show with no name or Alberto Alonso or whatever it is. Or Lara. Oh, wow. It's a guys, it's amazing. When you think about all the things that had to happen for us to be here right now, it makes you really value the moment. And it's great. I'm glad you all have joined us this morning here with so much energy. We've got Born to Iron Man kicking things off. He says, morning, folks. Morning to you, Born to Iron Man. I imagine you are kicking butt and ready to go. We've got Open Waters. Open Water says, what's shaking, friends? What's shaking? Another way of saying, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's up, Open Waters? Hope you're doing well as well. All right, not that funny. Anix says, morning there. Let's get ready to rumble. That's the right attitude. What's up, Anix? Great to have you with us. We've got Laura. Laura says, good morning, lovely show with no namers. Up and Adam. Vamos arriba, que hay que conquistar el día. Up and Adam. What's up, Laura? Great to have you here with us again. And remember, every Wednesday we learn some Italiano with Laura in her lovely section. There's German. He says, morning, lookers. Oh, I like it, German. She's a looker. Está buena. Es guapa, es atractiva. Since we were looking at the word look up, nice one. When we say someone's a looker, que es, hay que mirarle. No es que ellos miren. Very good, German. Also, if we add the word on, an onlooker, we're talking about un testigo. Somebody who was looking on is an onlooker. Good one, German. I love it. We're playing with words already. All right, here's Laura. She's got something to say about today's pop quiz. And she says, my son loved dressing up like Spider-Man when he was little. Now, it's interesting. I don't know if I usually heard it as dressing up as. Dress up like. Let's see if they to dress up like. Yeah. So I guess it's a preference thing to dress up like or as. Because in where I come from, we usually say, I'm going to dress up as lo que sea, as they used in the audio. But as I just Google it, here it says, let's see, quota. Do you trust quota? The meaning of like and as. Well, we know the meaning of like and as. Like is comparing it, and as is como eso is. So technically, yeah, you could say like because it's a comparison, but really as because you're really talking about, Spider-Man or Superman or whoever it may be. So as I look here, Laura, online, okay, I see, the free dictionary says dress up as, let's see, Word Reference has one here, to dress up here. No, it doesn't. I thought it was to dress up. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I don't think it's wrong. But I would naturally say, personally, to dress up as, porque va vestido de eso. No es una comparación tanto a eso. The best way to remember the like and as, too, are you ready? I work as a teacher. That's what I do. That's the role. And I work like a slave, como un esclavo. Comparación, right? So Spider-Man, or as they say here in Spain, Spiderman. My ears bleed when I hear a Spiderman. Primero la I en vez de I, y luego la E delante la S, Spider. I'm like, oh no. So great. The next one, I'm going to support you no matter what. Pase lo que pase. Come rain or shine. Through hell or high water. ¿Te sabes esa? Through hell or high water. Hell es el infierno, o sea, fuego. And high water es a flood, una inundación. O sea, si hay mucha agua o fuego, aquí estaré. Okay, so great. To support. It's another way of saying apoyar. Absolutely. It's not the phrasal verb I was looking for, but it's correct, Laura. And the last one, I look like my father, but I take after my mother. And again, take after. Ahora, como tú has usado look like, pues yo aquí imagino que es personalidad, not 100%. But again, just so you know, it can be used for both. Oh man, look at those eyes. You really take after your father, you know, or something you say, or a look, or a gesture. So it's a broader way of saying it. Okay. And be careful, because I've heard people say, you look after your father. Eso es, tú cuidas de tu padre. A little bit different. You take after versus you look after. Okay, ponlos cada uno. I take after my grandma. We both have a sense of humor. I look after my grandpa because he's sick, right? So I've seen people mix those up. I get it. They can be a little bit confusing. In this case, to look after, cuidar de, to take after. Great job, Laura. Let's see. Chris Valrol. She says, morning super show with no namers. Guess who has train tickets to Madrid on June 3rd? I love listening to Journey when I go on a journey. Chris, that is great. That is really great. Don't stop believing. What a great song. And Open Arms. And any way you want it, that's the way you need it. And Faithfully. Oh my God, Journey. If you have not listened to Journey when you're on a journey, or in any time really is a good time, give them a listen. And I think, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, those of you who like Journey, I think it's pretty easy to follow along. It's not like listening to Eminem or something like that. So great, Chris. That is wonderful news. We'll see you on June 3rd. Is that when it is? Tengo que mirar because I'm hosting, right? So May 6th. Yeah, May 6th, Kyle Miller. June 3rd, I'll be hosting. So you've got two awesome free Vaughn Radio Trivia Nights coming up right around the corner. Awesome sauce. Yeah, awesome sauce is a way of saying guay del Paraguay. Salsa molona. Awesome sauce. Es un poco, okay, you know, but hey, it's totally native. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man, he says, my wife and I dressed up as swimmers for the last San Silvestre run. Well, I'm sure Open Waters would have loved that costume. And then, I love it. Great job, Born to Iron Man. Are you ready? So, darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, apóyame. Stand by me. Stand by me. Great job. And then you can answer, Born to Iron Man, if you tell me, Alberto, I need you to stand by me. And you know what I'll tell him? Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on if there is a load. Hey, I told you we would get to the music. All right, and the last one, my daughter really looks like my wife. This is okay. Look like is physically, but I'm looking for take after, as I said, that can work either way. But great job, Born to Iron Man. Let's see, German. German's got something to say. He says, when I told her I was going to a costume party, she started dressing me down for not being dressed up enough. I love it. To dress somebody down or to give them a dressing down is echar una bronca. Great one. Also, to dress down, as we said before in the audio, to dress up is not just to dress in a costume, right? In the context, you would say, we're going to a wedding, we're going to dress up. Ahí eliminamos el as, porque no vas de algo. Es a secas, voy a vestirme más formal. I'm going to dress up for the dinner. To dress down, literalmente, es vestirse más informal, más casual. And to dress somebody down or giving them a dressing down is to let them know how you feel in not the nicest way. So great job, German. Wonderful play on words. The next one, he says, I'm not going to stick up for you. Excellent. Defenderte, apoyarte. German, you're on fire today, huh? I'm not going to stick up for you. You're too volatile. It shows how you take after your father. Wonderful, German. Knocking it out of the park, amigo. All right, let's see. Chris Valrol, here she goes, giving us her participation in today's pop quiz. She says, I saw a picture of a kid who dressed up as a fart. That's awesome. I hope my daughter doesn't see it, because if my daughter sees it, she's going to want to dress up as a fart. She's at that stage. Caca, culo, pedo, pis. You know, hey, they got to go through it. The other day, yesterday, when we got home, we were with Rob and Andy and everyone. She's like, that cat, man, he's a fuck. I'm like, I looked at my wife like, I didn't say it. Did you say that word? Like maybe, because sometimes my wife doesn't know. Like if a word is a bad word, she's like, oh, this is shit. I'm like, this is crap, honey. It's caca. It's poopy. We don't say shit, not to a kid. So sometimes, as I tell you guys here on the show, you need to know the weight of things. So yesterday she's like, oh, this cat, because the cat scratched her. Kike scratched her. She goes, that cat is fuck. He's a fuck. He's a fuck. She said it a few times. I'm like, and finally I said to my daughter, did you say, honey, he's a fox? Yo intentando redirigirlo como, ¿que es un zorro? And she's like, no, he's a fuck. I'm like, and I'm trying not to laugh this whole time. I'm trying not to bust out and in tears here laughing. And she goes, yeah, fuck, a fuck. I'm like, and what does that mean? And here's where daddy gets in trouble here a little bit. She goes, I heard it in the Limp Bizkit song. And I said, oh no. So I love that my daughter's a rocker, but I got to be careful. And in fact, the other day I put on Limp Bizkit. And when they go, oh, you motherfuckers in the house, I'm like, oh, you silly geese in the house. Like I changed the lyrics, but she still heard a fuck or two in there. So, uh-oh. Guys, I don't have to tell her to repeat what she hears. She does it automatically. And yesterday, I tried, to not give it more importance than it needed there. But I was like, and then, you know what you do? I told her, okay, well, honey, you know what? Well, let me tell you something. My wife and I, let me tell you something about Limp Bizkit. They don't always use nice words. They're pretty rude. Their mom should, wash their mouth out with soap because they're so rude. So that was really funny. She's like, that cat is a fuck. I'm like, excuse me? Thanks, Fred Durst, and thanks, Mommy and Daddy, for being Limp Bizkit fans. All right. She says, I saw a picture of a kid, Chris, who dressed up as a fart. Brilliant. Hilarious. She says, I'll support you rain or shine. Pase lo que pase. I'll stand by you. There's another one. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. Won't let anybody. It's not nobody. Si no es doble negación. Bueno, pero la canción dice nobody. And Chris says, I look more like my mother, but I have things from my father too. All right. So let's clear up. Look like, physical. To be like, personality. Take after, both. All right. Great job. All right. Let's see. We've got some more people participating here in our chat room. Laura's got something to say about today's Say What soundbite, which we've already heard twice. And let's see what she heard. She says, I heard an American TV show presenter who's not holding grudges, even though his show was temporarily taken away from him and given to someone else. It didn't work out, and they gave it back to him. Excellent. Exactly. And you used phrasal verbs. You didn't say they returned it to him. You said they gave it back. So excellent job, Laura. And I'm going to give you a totally native for to hold a grudge. Okay, to hold a grudge is to be angry at someone for a long time. Guardar rencor, I think you say, to hold a grudge. Excellent job, Laura. And that's exactly what's going on in that audio. Let's see. Open Waters. Open Waters says, I heard an American guy. Great job on the accent, guys. He's American. Yep. I heard an American guy talking about what it's like to run a show. Sometimes someone talented can take the show away from you and later give it back. Absolutely. You guys really do have a good ear over here. But folks, I can't believe it. We have got to head to a quick commercial break. We are halfway through the show. Can you believe that? And we've got a lot of stuff to cover. When we come back, I'm going to give you your homophones. We'll also take a look. I've got more people participating in the Say What soundbite. So Chris and Anix will read your comments when we get back. And also, we've got our spelling bee. We've got Double Trouble. We've got Name That Lyric, Name That Movie, jokes, and so much more, amigos. So thank you so much for joining us here on the Show with No Name, where English is exciting and interactive. We'll be right back with much more interactive, exciting English. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 3 of today's Show with No Name, or the second half. Thank you so much for joining us every day here. And I know I speak on behalf of all of us. En nombre de todos. Jimena Holiday and Test Your English right after today's show. Rob and Andy in the Lunchtime Show. All we were missing yesterday was the microphones. Right? We had lunch together. So, Rob and Andy, you can have a natural conversation with them every day. After that, you've got Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. You've got The Salad with Dave Boyce. You've got Kyle Miller and his program, Drive Time. Don't forget about Chris Frank and Frankly Speaking. Richard Vaughn Live. The man with the plan himself. You've also got Jessica Fernandez and the Hour to Empower. And all of those programs you can catch on the Vaughn Radio app. So download it for free. Also, you can find all our programs wherever you get your podcasts. iVox, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So many different ways to learn English for free with Vaughn. And then we've got, well, classes, courses, and materials as well. But those aren't free, naturally. All right, well, my amigos, we've got so much to do, so let's kick off with Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the Show with No Name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the Show with No Name. The Show with No Name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with homophones. Show with no name. That's right, amigos. Here's where I'm going to give you 2 words that you may or may not be familiar with. And I want you to tell me what those words are in English and if they sound exactly the same, like night and night. The knight said he would only ride at night. El caballero dijo que solo iba de noche. Same, where without the context, you would have no idea what word I'm talking about. All right. The first word is your hand, but when it's closed, you say puño. So a closed hand. That's what you do when you punch someone. Usually you make a closed hand. Puño. Okay. Also, it's some weird fetish as well. Very weird. But we won't get into that. Let's just say puño. Keep it clean as much as possible. All right, puño, a closed hand. I think pretty self-explanatory. You either know the word or you don't. All right, and the second word is an extravagant meal. Okay, festín, banquete, lo que he oído muchas veces, comilona. Okay. Also, it's darse un banquete. So it means comer muy bien también, ¿no? Nos dimos un banquete con esas gambas. Okay, we'll take a look at how to use it because there's a preposition in there as well. All right, so first word, puño. Second word, festín, un festín. Isn't that what it is in Beauty and the Beast? Well, in English, you know what it is? Be our guest, put our service to the test. Be our guest, sea nuestro invitado. I know you say un festín. Great song, by the way. Hey, I know. You guys know me. I'm a Disney adult. Yeah, I have no problem admitting it. I'm going to counseling. I'm going to therapy once a week to deal with it. All right, here we go, amigos. Let me give you today's Say What soundbite for the third time. It seems like everybody's gotten what's going on. Let's see if anybody can get it down word for word.
Look, it's a business. I get it. It's fine. I would be polite. I don't dislike Conan. I still think he's funny. I think he's very talented. Okay, it was a matter of I had the show. Someone tried to take the show away from me. They did. It didn't work out. They gave it back to me.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughntown, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughntown, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughntown. That's right, Vaughntown, amigos. Vaughntown, we've got weekend town, we've got summer camps, we've got day camps, as we call them, urban camps. More information, follow us on social media or stop by one of our offices if you'd like. As I said, we are in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, and Zaragoza. All right, let's see. We've got some people participating here in our Say What soundbite, some answers I didn't get to earlier, so let's read them now.
and see what the ladies came up with. Chris Valrol says, I heard an American man who's talking about a TV show he used to host. They gave the program to another presenter, but eventually they brought it back to him. Yeah, absolutely. Let me give you a clue, and I can make it a little bit easier for you. The name, he says, is Conan. Conan. Okay, it's a weird name. If you don't know, it's not a very like Conan the Barbarian. Well, this one is Conan O'Brien. Okay, a very famous writer. He wrote for The Simpsons, and a very famous TV show host and performer in the United States. So the name, he says, and it'll give you a lot of context here now, is Conan. Okay, he says something about dislike and Conan. All right, so a little clue there, because you guys are already on the right track. Vais por buen camino. Let's see, Anix. She says, I heard an American man in an interview. He's talking about a show he hosts, but it was taken away from him. It didn't work, so he was hired again. That's right. Or rehired, se puede decir también. And ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for your classmate who got it after the third listen. It's Laura. Excellent job, Laura. We still have one more listen, but you didn't need it. You got it on the third go. Wonderful job. All right, let's take a look over here. I've got a lot of participation in our homophone section. German, who is on fire today, he's given us the first participation. He says they are not homophones, and the words are correct. Open Waters agrees. Born to Iron Man says they don't sound alike. Chris Valros says, no, they're not homophones. Laura agrees. Anix agrees as well. So nobody thinks these are homophones? Well, you're all right. Great job. I just hope you're not out there pronouncing puño like festín. My feast or my fist? This is my fist over here. And when I make a fist, I have nudillos. How do we say nudillos? Little knots? Oh, no, I didn't. No. Knuckles. Con una K muda. Knuckles. Okay? So this is my fist. Fist rhymes with wrist. La muñeca. So if you can say fist, you can say wrist. Y besado? Kissed. They all rhyme. Kissed. He kissed my wrist, and then he kissed my fist. Okay? And I insist. All right? Same sound. Ist. You got to make that sound. In fist. Let's say the words, okay? Insist. Fist. Kissed. Right? Desist. Hay muchas palabras que tienen ese sonido. And the second one, feast. Feast rhymes with beast. Rhymes with least. Right? Es y latina ese sonido. Rhymes with deceased. Muerto. Right? Difunto. Deceased. And the way it's used as a verb is we're going to feast on some chicken wings. Okay? Entonces, si quieres poner, we're going to have a feast, we're going to feast, pero si quieres poner qué, de qué te vas a hinchar, then we have to emplear, we have to put in that on. Oh, man, last night we feasted, es un verbo regular, we feasted on shrimp, gambas, to feast on something. So excellent job. Show with no namers. All right, it's time for today's Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. All right, folks, this is the most challenging section. Well, lately, you guys, many of you, in fact, I think on Friday's show, I think like 4 or 5 of you got them on the first go. So awesome. Great news. This is round 1. Sorry about the gunshots. It's what happens when you're in the Wild West. Just duck and try not to get hit. Okay? Here we go, folks. Round 1. Let's capitalize the first letter of every word. Here we go. The first one is B-I-L-L-Y space K-I-D. The second one is L-I-N-C-O-L-N space C-O-U-N-T-Y space J-A-I-L. The third one is M-E-S-I-L-L-A, comma, space N-E-W, space M-E-X-I-C-O. The fourth one is H-E-N-R-Y, space M-C-C-A-R-T-Y. The fifth one, W-I-L-L-I-A-M, space H, period, space B-O-N-N-E-Y. The fourth one is sixth one, is F-O-R-T, space S-U-M-N-E-R, comma, space N-E-W, space M-E-X-I-C-O. There you go. Let's see if you're quick on the draw. ¿Te sabes esta expresión? Viene de los duelos. To be quick on the draw, to draw es sacar el arma. No sacar lo que sea. So if you're quick on the draw, es rápido, eh? Let's see if you are quick on the draw, my amigos. It looks like Chris Valrol is quick on the draw today. She's ready for a face-off, a showdown, un enfrentamiento, a duel. No, duel, un duelo, you say the same thing. Also born to Iron Man, right on her heels, right on her spurs, sus espuelas. All right, let's take a look. Chris, the first one is correct. The second one is also correct. The third one is perfect. The fourth one is also. The fifth one's perfect. And so is the sixth one. Give it up for your classmate. Quick on the draw. Quick on the draw. It is born to Iron Man. No, excuse me. Chris Valrol. I'm used to reading your name. Chris Valrol. Born to Iron Man. I think yours are right too. And Laura and Open Waters. Are you serious, guys? You know what? And I'm taking a quick glance. Una ojeada, una mirada rápida aquí. And it looks like you guys all nailed it. So give it up for Chris. Born to Iron Man. Laura and Open Waters. I can't go any faster. I'm going to have to speed it up double time here. All right, folks. Round 2 of today's Spelling Bee. All right. As I said, we're going out to the Wild West on this one. The first one, B-I-L-L-Y space K-I-D. Okay, esto es súper lento. No lento, pero súper fácil, creo. Number 2, L-I-N-C-O-L-N space C-O-U-N-T-Y space J-A-I-L. The third one, M-E-S-I-L-L-A, comma, space N-E-W space M-E-X-I-C-O. The fourth one, H-E-N-R-Y space MCCARTY. The fifth one is WILLIAM space H period. So that's a middle initial. BONNEY. And the last one is FORT space SUMNER, comma, NEW space MEXICO. All right, amigos, as you already have imagined and as I've already brought up, mencionado, today's has something to do with the Wild Wild West. Not the movie Wild Wild West, the real Wild Wild West. And it's because today in the year 1881, Billy the Kid, sound familiar? Billy the Kid broke out, to break out or to escape, right? He broke out of the Lincoln County Jail, which was number 2. So number 1, quite el the. It's an extra word. We don't need it. Billy Kid era el primero. Number 2 was Lincoln, no Lincoln, la L totalmente muda. Lincoln es como Lincoln Park. O sea, ¿conocéis el grupo Lincoln Park? Pues así se pronuncia, igual. Lincoln County Jail. The word county is good to know because you'll see that a lot of times when we're talking about different places. County es condado, right? County. And the word jail, just be careful you don't pronounce it Yale. Why? Well, Yale is like one of the best universities in the United States. Very different than jail, right? Did you go to Yale or did you go to jail, right? So that word, let's say the difference. La universidad, Yale. Calabozo, jail, which is located in Little Table, New Mexico. Mesilla. Okay, hey, that's what it's called. I didn't name it. Mesilla, New Mexico is where it took place. Number 4 is Henry McCarty. Does this name ring a bell? Well, if you love this kind of stuff, Henry McCarty was just one of his names. So Henry McCarty was supposedly his real name, Henry McCarty, but he was also known as William H. Bonney. And we all know his most famous moniker, Billy the Kid. Billy el Niño, I think you say the same thing. So number 4 was his original birth name, supposedly. And the 5th was one of the aliases he used, okay? And number 6 is where it took place in Fort Sumner. That's right, Fort es la palabra una fuerte, a fort. Like we have one of the most famous forts in the United States is supposedly where all the gold is kept, Fort Knox, right? La Knox. So this is Fort Sumner in New Mexico. And I've got to tell you something. I have been out there, okay? I drove cross country, and I drove from Los Angeles, California, to New York. And I went through Tombstone, Arizona. Yeah, se llama Lápida. And I'll tell you something. You're just waiting for like Billy the Kid to come out and shoot the place up. There's tumbleweed, guys. I thought, for me, I was like, is this like, part of the show? No, como si fuera un parque temático. Tumbleweed. Bueno, si sabes la palabra tumble es rodar, como hacer gimnasia. Oh, good. She's learning to tumble. Well, tumbleweed, hierba mala que rota, planta rodadora, corredora, estepicursor, cardo ruso. Toma, you have 4 different ways to call tumbleweed. And I've never seen tumbleweed here. But let's be honest. Can you have a Western without tumbleweed? I mean, think about that. It's become synonymous with Westerns. The only place I can think of where there's tumbleweed, maybe, is down in Almeria, in Tabernas, in the desert, where many Westerns were filmed. So yeah, New Mexico. I honestly, I don't know if I could ever live out there, Arizona, New Mexico, the Southwest, as we call it, of the United States. However, it's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous, but you do feel like nature's like, you're lost out there. Something happens, you're in the middle of nowhere. Okay. And it's like everything I imagined and more. I remember the day I arrived in Tombstone, Arizona. We were going to go to the Grand Canyon. You call it El Cañón de Colorado. We call it the Grand Canyon, right? And I remember the hotel. I booked really not a hotel, a motel. Estos de carretera. No need to get a luxury hotel unless you're saying, well, we're going to stay at the Grand Canyon for a week and maybe then. And I know now glamping is more popular than ever. Glamping is a portmanteau of two words: glamorous camping, right? I want to go experience the outdoors, but not without Wi-Fi, not without a jacuzzi, wait a second. Do you really want to experience the outdoors? Experience, you mean? Or just get a little taste of it? But there it was, man. Honestly, being from the East Coast, the Northeast, more specifically, all of that stuff before that, to me, was like a movie set. I had seen it in Almeria, because as many of you know, there's like a theme park / zoo. And it's called, it's kind of a theme park. It is themed around the Wild West, but they don't really have rides. They used to have some rides there, but now they have a lot of shows. They have a pool and all kinds of animals there as well. And it's called Mini Hollywood. I insist, if you are a fan of Westerns and you have not Westerns / movies, Chris, let me tell you something. Even if Westerns aren't your cup of tea, there's a movie museum there, and they have like all the old projectors and all the old cameras with the reels, las bobinas, that were, bigger than an elephant. Oh man, it's very, very impressive. And it's a piece of movie history and also a piece of Spain's history. All right, amigos, I can't believe it. We have got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the fourth and final part of today's show. So, say it with me. 3, 2, 1, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the fourth and final part of today's show with No Name. I hope you're learning, I hope you're laughing, and I hope you'll stay tuned for He-Man, a holiday show. Test your English, which is right after today's show. You can't miss it. Just stay tuned on the Bon Radio app. And don't forget to follow Grupo Vaughan, whatever you want to call us, Von Vaughan. Follow us on social media. And this way you'll be in the know. Enterados. You'll know about our upcoming events. Trivia Night, May 6th, hosted by Kyle Miller. Also, pretty soon, we'll be releasing the book fair dates. Las fechas que vamos a estar en Feria del Libro. So lots of reasons. Also, we're gonna have special deals all the time. So it's a good way to stay in the loop. And you don't have to do anything. Nope. Nothing at all. Just follow
And when there's some news, you'll see us in your timeline. That's on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're everywhere. All right, we are going to kick off this part of the show, the final part of the show, with a challenge, as always. But this time, this challenge is coming from one of your fellow students. That's right, today's quintuple. You heard correctly. I'll say it again. Quintuple Trouble is sponsored by your friend. Don't hate me. It was your friend, lovely Laura, who sent this today. So good luck in today's Quintuple Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is.
Give it up.
Double trouble. I said double trouble.
I said double. Come on, baby, baby. Come on, baby, baby. Come on.
I said double trouble.
All right. And if you can't get all 5 of them, try and get like 3 or 4. Well, Laura, hey, that you are. Then you guys say I'm tough. Yo creo que nunca he hecho 5. Aunque se puede con make-up o con look-up que vimos antes, right? So, wow. All right. Good luck, folks. That's all I'll give you here. And why are we hearing a police siren here? Well, there's always a method to my madness here. Well, we were just looking at Billy the Kid and jail and all that, right? All right, here we go. La policía detuvo al ladrón justo a tiempo, mientras intentaba robar la joya, y acabó en la cárcel con un pequeño corte en el brazo. I'll repeat it. Oh, geez, Luis. Tiene que ser cada segunda palabra, ¿no? Aquí para que encaje. La policía detuvo al ladrón justo a tiempo, mientras intentaba robar la joya, y acabó en la cárcel con un pequeño corte en el brazo. Wow. And one more just in case, porque sé que este es largo, ¿ok? Por partes. La policía detuvo al ladrón justo a tiempo. Parte 1. Mientras intentaba robar la joya, y acabó en la cárcel con un pequeño corte en el brazo. All right, there you go. Show with no namers. Good luck in our quintuple, our first ever quintuple trouble. And also, let me give you guys the Say What soundbite. Here it is for the 4th and final time.
Look, it's a business. I get it. It's fine. I would be polite. I don't dislike Conan. I still think he's funny. I think he's very talented. Okay, it was a matter of I had the show. Someone tried to take the show away from me. They did. It didn't work out. They gave it back to me.
¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. A partir del próximo mes de marzo 2023, podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan.
Brilliant!
brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. That's right. The Oxford Test of English. And you can get it here with Vaughn at any of our centers. Again, more information if you're following on social media. All right. Well, as expected, I don't think anybody has figured out our quintuple trouble. Well, as I said, if you can't get all 5, try and get 3, right? 3 is better than none. And in the meantime, just to buy some time here, we're going to the movies, folks. Name that movie. That's right, amigos. It is Name That Movie here on the Show with No Name. All right, let's take a look at this synopsis, and we'll see if anybody recognizes this movie. A self-indulgent, and luego lo vemos, okay? Lo leo una vez y luego paramos a verlo todo. A self-indulgent and vain publishing magnate finds his privileged life upended after a vehicular accident with a resentful lover. Okay? So let's take a look at all these adjectives here. Self-indulgent. Self-indulgent. Autocomplaciente. All you do is think about your own desires. Okay? Self-indulgent. And vain, vanidoso. Publishing magnate is un magnate, we say magnet, finds his privileged life, su vida privilegiada, me cuesta esa palabra toda la vida, upended, volcado, piénsalo, upended, right, upside down, en posición vertical, volcado. Upended is the word. After a vehicular accident with a resentful lover. And it's interesting because aunque sea una S, esa suena como una Z. I resent you. Okay? I resent you. Okay? I'm resentful would be the adjective. So the verb is to resent. I think resentir, right, makes sense in Spanish. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. Please give it up for Chris Valrol. Excellent job, Chris. It's Vanilla Sky. Vanilla Sky, which used to be called something else, right? Open Your Eyes. Think about it. Does this Spanish people, you should know this movie from 1997. Because Vanilla Sky came out in 2001. But Amenabar's Open Your Eyes, which came out in 1997, was the film that this was based on. It was, well, not based on, it was another version, the English version of this film. And Cameron Crowe did this version. And Amenabar, this is what he said, okay? He said, when I learned quite some time ago that Cameron Crowe was going to write and direct the film based on Open Your Eyes with Tom Cruise in the leading role, I felt honored. Now that I have seen Vanilla Sky, I couldn't be more proud. Cameron has all my respect and admiration. So that's Amenabar. He liked what Cameron Crowe and Tom Cruise and company did with this movie. Also, it stars Penélope Cruz, as you guys know, and Cameron Diaz. Bueno, te lo voy a pronunciar ambas a la americana. Penélope Cruz, que de hecho, si no los ves escrito, son pareja. Tom Cruise, Penélope Cruz, we say them the same. Yeah. I know it's not the same, but we say them the same. And Cameron Diaz, not Diaz. We say Diaz. Hey, I'm just telling you what she's called in the United States. Because if you say Cameron Diaz, people are like, Camarón de la Isla? What? No, Cameron Diaz. The one that got me when my daughter and my wife, Aladdin. I'm like, who's Aladdin? It's Aladdin. So we don't always agree. Excellent job, Chris Valrol. It is Vanilla Sky. Open Water says, wow, I can't figure out today's double trouble, even looking up the words, el forte sobra ahí, looking up words on Google, or looking up words. No hay que decir ni Google ahí, hasta buscándolas. O sea, ves el words, el for y el Google ahí, even looking up the words, ¿ves? Y te quitas toda esa parte. Es como vimos throw away or throw out. No hay que decir garbage. Ya está, ya viene en la frase, right? All right, Laura's given you a clue. Laura says, bravo, Chris, in the nick of time. Okay, Laura just gave you a huge clue there on her quintuple trouble. All right, let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen from Vanilla Sky. David says, I wasn't hitting on Sophia. To hit on is to try and romance somebody. Tirar los tejos, los trastos, you say. I wasn't hitting on. So to hit Sofía es la has pegado. To hit on cambia totalmente. Pasa por ella. Right? You're trying to impress her, trying to make her like you. I wasn't hitting on Sophia, David says. And Brian says, oh, fine. Whatever you say. Lo que tú digas. Whatever you say. Ya me dice esto mi hija, by the way. Qué rápido aprenden el whatever you say, Dad. Pero con tono sarcástico, irónico. Like, yeah, Dad, whatever you say. And then he says, whatever you say. I'm crazy. I'm blind. Yo estoy loco. Yo estoy ciego. And David says, you're not blind. You're drinking Jack Daniels. And when you drink Jack, you start in with that. Frank Sinatra, she shot me down. Give me a cigarette. King of sad thing. O sea, que te pones en plan tristón. Frank Sinatra me ha rechazado. She shot me down. So if you hit on somebody and they're not interested, you got shot down. Mira, estamos hablando de disparos antes in the Wild West. Well, there's another one. To get shot down. It can be an airplane. The airplane got shot down, but also if you get shot down, you were rejected, and not very nicely. And then Brian says, that I do. Give me a cigarette. Hablando de, dame un cigarro. And David says, I'll find one. Encontraré uno. And Brian says, but wait, you're rich and women love you. And I'm from Ohio and I'm drunk. Can I tell you the truth? Te puedo decir la verdad. And David says, everybody does. Todo el mundo lo hace. Brian says, I dig her. I dig her. ¿Le cavo? ¿Cavar? Yeah, to dig is cavar, but also dig is me mola. Okay, it's totally native for I dig her. Me mola. Okay. And I've never said this to you before about any girl, but she could be, he's doubting, hesitating, and says, could be the girl of my fucking dreams. La de mis sueños. And David says, you're not from Ohio. No eres de Ohio. And Brian says, I know. But if she fucks up our friendship, si jode nuestra amistad, she can go to hell. Puede irse al demonio. I won't allow it. No lo permitiré. We are bros. Somos hermanos. And David says, I feel the same way. And Brian says sarcastically, sure you do. Claro que sí, guapi. Would be the translation there. Sure you do. Claro que sí, guapi. All right, there you go. Vanilla Sky. Let's see. Chris Valrol is taking a stab at our quintuple trouble. Let's see what she got. She says, cops nicked the thief in the nick of time. Chris, that's the word. So let's just start with that. Cops nicked the thief, in the nick of time. Ooh, in the nick of time. And then she says, he ended up in the nick with a nick on his arm. Great. We're just missing one. To nick es robar también. So the police nicked the thief in the nick of time while he was trying to nick the jewel. De hecho, los británicos dicen, can I nick a fag, mate? Y esto para americanos, we're like, what, a fag is a very offensive word for homosexual. Fag, don't use the word. Although the British, para ellos es un cigarro. Pues te puedo robar o un cigarro. So I know the first time I was in England, the first time I heard that, I was like, what these guys are really, wow, intolerant. And then I realized it has nothing to do with someone's sexuality in England so much as it's another way of saying cigarette for them. But just be careful with those words. You know, rubber, por ejemplo, rubber in England is para borrar, una goma de borrar. For us, a rubber is a condom, right? So, you want to make sure you don't make those little mistakes there. So excellent. The police nicked the thief or the crook in the nick of time while he was trying to nick the jewel. And he ended up in the nick, another way of saying in jail, with a little nick. Think about it. Nick, un cortecillo. Piénsalo. It's like when you're shaving, you can nick or you get a little nick. So excellent job. Chris. Excellent stuff there. You were just missing one of those uses, but I think that's great. You got our quadruple trouble, even though it was a quintuple trouble. Laura, that was really challenging. You really made the students sweat. All right, it's time for famous birthday trivia.
Birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi, oi, oi. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's famous birthdays only on the show with no name. And let's see what we've got here for today's famous birthdays. Our first birthday boy was born today in 1968. And what does he do? ¿A qué se dedica? Good question. Fíjate cómo la H de he. What does he? Porque es muy difícil decir what does he do. Entonces nos comemos por defecto esa H muchas veces porque es what did, right? What did he? ¿Ves la H? A mí me cuesta decir did he porque tienes que coger otra respiración. Entonces sin querer nos sometimos la H muchas veces ahí. Okay? So what does he do? Well, as I said, he's a singer, songwriter, and producer from England. All right. Well, what group is he in? ¿En qué grupo está? What group is he in? Is he? I didn't say is he. Otra vez me como la H. Well, he was in Take That. Take That. Toma ya. Right? Same. We said Take That. And I've got to say something. I don't know very much about that group. You know, think about it. Boy bands. I was a young boy myself. So when the boy band craze was happening, I was a young boy who was about their age, so they were not my idols. I was like, this is obviously marketed at girls, right? But hey, I'm not saying they don't have good songs, and it's not the most famous one. I'm loving angels instead, and through it all, she offers me protection, a lot of love and I said I'm not a fan, but that's a beautiful song. But it's not him. It's another member of Take That. All right, number 2. This person was born in 1974, born in España. That's right, an actress and presenter actress, producer, presenter. She's done it all. And, you might know her as the girl from Alcobendas, because when she won an Oscar, well, she mentioned Alcobendas. So shout out to Alcobendas over there. Also, her sister is an actress as well, and her husband is an actress. And, I think you know who we're talking about. Vicky Cristina Barcelona, Vanilla Sky. Today's Name That Movie. I mentioned her name earlier. So nobody should miss that second one. All right. And last but not least, this guy was born today in 1950. He was, I don't think he does anymore. He might do some hosting and guest hosting, but he was a late night talk show host in the United States. And originally, the battle was between him and Johnny Carson. Now, anybody who knows anything about late night TV in the United States know that this guy couldn't hold a candle to Johnny Carson. No le llega la suela a los pies. So then there was some drama. There are actually stories about this. Okay, there are documentaries and docuseries. It's called The Late Night Wars. And then there was a war between him and David Letterman because they were on at the same time. I choose David Letterman. Then there was a war between. So what does it seem like here? It seems like this guy's always at war with someone, huh? Although, if you ask anyone, Johnny Carson or this guy, they'll say Johnny Carson. If you ask anyone, David Letterman or this guy, they'll say David Letterman. If you ask anyone, Conan O'Brien, that was the Conan we heard. And this guy, I think most people would say Conan O'Brien. So this guy has fought with everybody. And honestly, I can't take him. No le soporto. Because like he speaks like this. Seriously, folks, I'm telling. I don't think he's funny at all. And I guess people do. But check it out. The Late Night Wars. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. Chris Valrol. Number 1 is Howard Donald from Take That. Number 2, Penelope Cruz, pronunciado a la americana. And last but not least, Jay Leno. But seriously, folks, that's what I hear. Every time he speaks, I want you to hear, if you hear this, he's got kind of like this, it's kind of like fun. This is the way I hear. I hear this kind of thing when he speaks, and it's not something I like to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it doesn't, whereas, Johnny Carson was a master. You want to see the master? Check out Johnny Carson. And I think because he's such a good communicator, any level would be able to follow along. So yeah, the Late Night Wars, it was a big one because then he was given the show, but then it was taken away from him, then given back to him. And poor Conan O'Brien's like, so do I have the show or not? Like it was, oh man, they played with a lot of people there. Okay. And this is Jay Leno commenting about that. He goes, look, it's a business. I get it. No, es un negocio. Reemplazan uno por otro, luego le cambian otra vez. He says, mira, lo entiendo. He goes, it's fine. And he was asked if he has any animosity towards Conan. And he goes, I would be polite. Yo sería, si nos viéramos, I would be polite, right? Educado. I don't dislike Conan. No es que no me cae bien. I still think he's funny. Creo que es gracioso. I think he's very talented. Okay, it was a matter of I had the show. Someone tried to take the show away from me. They did. It didn't work out. No fue fructífero. And they gave it back to me. So here's Jay Leno explaining that.
Look, it's a business. I get it. It's fine. I would be polite. I don't dislike Conan. I still think he's funny. I think he's very talented. Okay, it was a matter of I had the show. Someone tried to take the show away from me. They did. It didn't work out. They gave it back to me.
You see, it's that simple. You see what I mean? Excellent job, everybody. We are out of time. If you want to sing along with me, it's Take That, Back for Good. He vuelto para siempre. Back for good. El for good es para siempre. And he says, I guess now it's time for me to give up. Otro phrasal verb, darme por vencido. I feel it's time. I got a picture of you beside me. Got your lipstick mark still on my coffee cup. Oh, yeah. Got a fist of pure emotion. Hey, fist, puño. We looked at that word today, so you should know how to pronounce it. This is Back for Good by Take That, and we'll be back tomorrow. I promise. Ciao for now.